Hey, I thought I'd share a portion of my life story with you that will really encourage you. It was a day before the death of my first wife. I was standing at the hospital bed. She had been in a coma for a few days, and as I stood there, praying and believing that she'll be healed, and at the same time going through the emotions, all of a sudden her eyes popped open. She had tubes going down her throat. She could not speak. She tried to speak, and as she tried to speak, tears flooded her eyes and streamed down the sides of her head. And as I looked at her, I was just shattered at that moment. I was in so much of grief and so much of agony, seeing my bride, the bride of my youth, in such a state that I was so overwhelmed with grief. And so at that point in time, as I looked into her eyes, I believe that she had just opened her eyes to once again just look at me and say goodbye. It was the last time that I would look into her beautiful eyes. It was the last time that I would see her in this state. The next day, she had passed away, and as it gotten through the funeral, and a few days later, and said the final goodbyes, I would then go through about 3 years of agony, emotional pain. I would go to bed crying, weeping, getting up weeping. There were times that I would feel great, and there were times that I would feel not so great. There were times that I would just want to give up on life, and times that I would wonder what would become of the words, the dreams, the prophecies that were spoken over our life. Would I ever see those things come to pass? Here I was, 17 and a half years of marriage to the bride of my youth, prophecies that we would have children. We had gone through one stillborn baby. We had gone through 11 miscarriages, and we had no children, and now she was gone. But as I continued to still hold on to the promises of God, 3 years later, there's this beautiful girl that walked into my life. I started to have feelings again. I started to fall in love again. And it was such a beautiful courtship of 8 months. And as we got ready for the day of our wedding, I was standing at the altar. The sun was setting on the horizon. It was the afternoon. And as I anticipated or waited expectantly at the altar, looking towards the chapel doors, waiting for her to walk down, the music started playing and the chapel doors began to open slowly. As the chapel doors began to open, the glory of the sunlight shone straight down that aisle. It was as if I was looking into the glory of a God that I believed all my life was the one who created me for a plan and a purpose. I looked at that picture right there, and as she began to walk down the aisle, it was literally as if she was walking out of the glory of God and coming straight into my life to give me a brand new start. I bit the bottom of my lip trying to stop myself from getting so emotional in front of the crowd that was there, and I couldn't help myself, but tears was flowing, flooding my eyes, flowing down my cheeks. I was going through the emotions, and as she walked down, I looked at her beautiful smile, and that smile told me that you can dream again. Everything was going to be okay. We stood at the altar, gotten ready for our vows, and looking into her eyes and looking into each other's eyes rather, and just enjoying that moment. I remember thinking that my God had given me a brand new start. When she was walking down that aisle, as if she was walking out of the glory of the Son or the glory of God, I remember hearing these words, and God said to me, "Behold my grace." It is by the grace of God that you can overcome grief. It is by the grace of God that you can overcome the challenges you're facing. It is by the grace of God that you can hope again, dream again, and believe again. So no matter how difficult it is, the reality of grief is that it's like a roller coaster of emotions. There are days that you feel great, and there are days that you'll feel terrible. There are days that you want to give up. But I want you to know that if God did it for me, He can do it for you. He can give you a brand new start. Maybe it might not be a new spouse. Maybe it'll just be something that'll take you out of where you are right now and put your feet upon solid ground so that you can give Him praise. Had it not been for the grace of God, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. I want to encourage you. Do not give up. You are special to God, and God has a plan for your life. So stand strong. If you want to get this book, go to my website, Tears for My Bride When Grown Men Cry. It'll really bless you. Encourage somebody. Buy the ebook. Share it with somebody. Let people know that there's hope for a brighter tomorrow, no matter how difficult life is. I want you to know that you are special. Have a wonderful day.